In today's video, we'll be looking at the 3 questions that will help you decide whether you should claim Social Security early or delay until age 70. If you're new to the channel, hi, my name is Julia, and I'm a certified financial planner and managing director at URS Advisory. I've helped countless retirees identify the perfect time to claim Social Security. And if I've learned one thing, it's that timing when to claim can be one of the most intimidating decisions retirees face. And that's why I want to walk you through the 3 most important questions that will help you determine when to claim. I encourage you to stay through the end of the video, especially if you enjoy tax planning and tax saving strategies that center around Social Security filing dates. Okay, let's get right into it. First, I want to review some basic rules around Social Security, as these will set the foundation for the 3 questions we'll be reviewing shortly. You can claim Social Security on your own account as early as age 62 and as late as age 70. If you were born in 1960 or later and filed benefits at age 62, you will receive 70% of your full retirement age benefit, which is what you would receive if you had waited until age 67. So in other words, there's a 30% haircut for filing at age 62. Each year that you delay benefits between age 62 and age 67 will increase your benefit from 5 to 8% depending on the year. And each year that you delay benefits between full retirement age or 67 and age 70 will increase your benefit by a flat 8% per year. In fact, your benefit actually increases every month that you delay. So when we run these Social Security maximization reports for clients, the recommendations are usually to take the benefit at an age and some odd months, so it's rarely at an even age. Please note that any inflation increases that occur while you delay will be factored into your benefit once you file. Now let's get into the 3 most important questions that will guide you to the best filing date. The first question you need to ask yourself is, have you calculated the break-even point for delaying benefits, and does it align with your life expectancy estimates? Obviously, if we all had a crystal ball that told us when we would die, none of us would have any trouble maximizing our Social Security benefits. However, that is not our reality. The reality is that while we don't know when we'll die, we do need to know what our break-even ages are so that we can make an informed decision on when to file for benefits. It's not enough to simply say that you're delaying until age 70 because it produces the highest monthly benefit if you don't take it early. You need to know at what age your delaying benefits will start to pay off. So let's look at an example. Tom is almost 62 years old and he wants to retire soon. His primary insurance amount, or the amount he's entitled to at age 67, is $3,100 per month. He wants to know when he should pull his Social Security benefits based on the fact that both of his parents are still alive in their early 90s. Because of this, he fears a long life expectancy, or potentially outliving his money. Let's look at a chart that will tell us when he will break even income-wise from Social Security if he takes benefits at age 62 versus 66 versus age 70. And I go out to age 95. In the orange column here, we can see what he would receive per year if he filed at age 62, and we increase these numbers by 3% per year for inflation. If he lived to age 95, he would receive a total of a little bit over $1.5 million. In the green column, we can see what he would receive if he delayed to age 66. And we can see here that his annual benefit would be $34,716 versus $26,040, or an increase of over 33%. However, he is missing out on 4 years of benefits in the meantime. In this column, we can see what he'd receive if he delayed to age 70, or if he would receive $46,128 per year, which is again 33% more than he would receive at age 66. And again, that's also 8 years of a missed benefit. So now let's look to see when his decision to delay starts to pay off. Okay, we can see here that delaying to age 66 as opposed to pulling early at age 62 starts to pay off at age 81 and compounds from there. When we compare taking Social Security early at age 62 to delaying until age 70, we can see that the break-even age is age 84. In other words, you are losing money from Social Security until you hit age 84, and from there, your gains really start to compound. We can see that if he lives to age 95, he'll receive almost $1.8 million compared to a little over $1.5 million. But we also know that he won't start to enjoy those gains until age 84. So if we look at it through a different lens, via a Monte Carlo analysis, which is currently the best way to test the success of a financial plan, we can see that his probabilities of success, or his chance of living to age 95 without running out of money, increase from 76% to 80% if he files at age 66 versus age 62. And if he delays to age 70, his chances increase to 83%, right? But this comes as no surprise because the software has him living to age 95. Now, for Tom, who has longevity in his family, delaying until at least 66 and beyond is fine with him. But for others that have maybe poor health or low family longevity, the decision becomes a lot harder. This brings me to a concept that we're all familiar with, and that is the time value of money. The time value of money is a financial principle that states that the value of a dollar today is worth more than the value of a dollar in the future. We've all experienced this through inflation, right? We know that our money will naturally be worth less in the future as the cost of goods and services rise. A gallon of milk cost $3.04 in 2019, and in just 5 short years has increased by 33% to an average of $4.09. So your $3.04 was worth more back then than it's worth today. Understanding the time value of money is important when timing your Social Security benefits. You need to be at peace with the fact that money today is worth more than money tomorrow, and that delayed benefits are not always worth the wait. As I said earlier, those with health issues or with families that passed away early, right, in their 70s or early 80s, they naturally understand this. If we go back to Tom's chart, we can see that he would miss out on over $108,000 between ages 62 and 66. But really the value of that time is worth more than that. Now I'm not saying that he should file at 62. It's just something that everybody needs to consider before they make their final filing decision. And I'm going to move on to the next point now, but we are going to break this down in far more detail in another video. So if you don't want to miss out, click the subscribe button below now. This brings me to the second question, and that is, do you have other sources of guaranteed income that could allow you to claim Social Security strategically? So in other words, do you have a pension or deferred compensation or maybe even a stock plan that can provide cash flow for you between your retirement date and potentially delaying your Social Security benefit? If you do, you have a lot more flexibility in maximizing your benefits. So before I show you an example of what I mean, I need to define a retirement concept called early distribution risk. This is the risk of withdrawing too much from your investment accounts too early on. We've all heard of the 4% rule, so for reference, you could, depending on your situation or depending on markets, be at financial risk if you withdraw much more than that in the early years, say the first 5 to 10 years of your retirement. Now, the reason for this is because of the typical spending pattern of a retiree. We as humans don't spend in a linear fashion. Some months we spend a lot more than other months, but however, there is kind of an overarching spending pattern that most all retirees follow, and this is known as the retirement spending smile. When you first retire, you're young and healthy, and that means you're going to be spending more than you will 15 years from now. So our spending starts off high and then sort of decreases for many years, but then towards the end of the life, you may need long-term care, which increases spending back to where it may have been when you first retired. We can see this concept illustrated here. This spending pattern tells us when the retiree is at the most risk. So that is the first 5 to 10 years and the last 5 to 10 years of retirement. So in some cases, delaying Social Security when it's the only source of guaranteed income can pose a risk if it puts too much pressure on your portfolios early in your retirement. So let's go back to Tom and look at his withdrawal percentages or his portfolio distribution rate with and without a pension. In his original scenario that I stress tested earlier, he didn't have a pension. He only had his investment portfolio to rely on. So in this scenario, if he pulls Social Security at 62, his withdrawal percentage starts at just under 3% and increases to anywhere between 5 and 7%, and then at 85 reduces back down to around 3%. However, if he delays his benefits to age 66, his withdrawal percentage is much higher initially, starting at just over 4% and jumping to about 8% for the following 3 years before normalizing. And if he delays to age 70, his withdrawal percentage peaks at almost 10% in year 7 and doesn't actually normalize around 4% until age 77. The fact is that delaying your Social Security benefit if you retire early does put extra pressure on your portfolio, and worse, if Tom's portfolio is not bucketed for retirement, more on bucketing in my video here, then he will be subject to the sequence of returns risk, putting his whole financial life in jeopardy. For reference, the sequence of returns risk is the risk that the stock market will perform poorly during the first years of retirement, forcing you to pull income from a losing portfolio, thus increasing your chances of running out of money. Having to pull 8% for a couple of years during a down market would be a major problem for Tom, hence why we bucket our clients' portfolios for the first 5 years of their retirement. However, that doesn't solve the fact that when you delay Social Security benefits, you are increasing your early distribution risk, and that having a pension or an annuity payment, even if it's seemingly small, allows you to delay Social Security, thus maximizing your lifetime benefit without putting that extra pressure on the portfolio in the early years of your retirement. So let's see that in action. If he had an $18,000 per year pension or annuity payment starting at age 62 with no inflation, so just $18,000 for the rest of his life, we can see here that even if he delays benefits to age 66 and 70, the distribution rates only go up to just over 6% at their worst before dipping below 4% for the remainder of his life. So that's a huge difference. If you want extra help planning a financially successful retirement, go ahead and click the link in the description, and my team and I will take a look at your exact situation and help you come up with a game plan. Let's move on to the third question to ask yourself before claiming Social Security, and that is, have you considered the potential tax benefits of delaying Social Security? Now you might be thinking, well, how am I going to have a tax benefit for delaying my Social Security benefit, right? And the answer is that delaying your Social Security benefit creates more room in your tax bracket for spending down pre-tax accounts and for Roth conversions. The years between your retirement and your Social Security start date are golden years for tax planning opportunities. Since your earned income drops to zero, this gives you more flexibility in your tax bracket, in your lower tax bracket, and how you withdraw your accounts in retirement, which is otherwise known as distribution planning. And this is a big part of what we do at our firm. For instance, let's say that you retire in early 2025 and your income goes from $100,000 per year to zero. If your portfolio has enough tax diversification, meaning that you have a good amount of taxable brokerage accounts and, hopefully a Roth account, then you can strategically withdraw your income to minimize your tax liability over your lifetime. But you also have the ability to perform Roth conversions at a much lower tax rate. Whereas if you take Social Security early, you're taking up valuable room in that tax bracket that you could use to convert pre-tax funds to Roth IRA or tax-free accounts. So let's use a quick example with Tom again. Let's say that he takes Social Security next year at age 62, and to minimize his lifetime tax liability, he's going to pull $10,000 in ordinary dividends from his brokerage account and $60,000 from his traditional IRA. So this brings his total income to $92,134 and his taxable income to $77,284. This puts him in the 22% marginal tax bracket with an effective or an average tax rate of 15.5%. He can convert $25,000 from his IRA to his Roth IRA while still being at the same effective or average and also the marginal tax rate of 15.5. If he instead chooses to delay his Social Security benefit, this lowers his taxable income to just over $55,000, and that gives him the ability to convert more to his Roth IRA, $22,000 more, right, or a total of $47,000, without jumping a bracket. So in fact, if he was sure he would delay, our strategy would be more aggressive and would involve converting more than that, pulling the lion's share of his living expenses from his taxable brokerage account. But I just wanted to show you one option, for an apples to apples comparison. Building a tax-free bucket of money is advantageous for so many reasons in retirement. Hedging your risk against higher future tax rates, minimizing the IRMA Medicare tax penalty, and other means-tested credits. Delaying benefits allows you to convert more in those early retirement years. Now that you know the factors to consider when claiming Social Security, you can start to think about the best age to claim for your situation. But there may be factors that you should consider outside of the ones I referenced in this short video that are maybe more specific to your situation. So if you'd like help for your unique situation, click the link in the description and schedule a completely free consultation with us. I'll see you next time.